Nepal highly values its relationship with neighboring countries, especially its relation with China.
Now, Nepal has traditionally been close to India, sharing cultural ties and open borders. But since about 2015, that goodwill has dissipated. 2015 is when Nepal really began looking in Beijing's direction instead. That year, Nepal framed its constitution, and India wasn't happy that its advice to address the concerns of the Madheshis had gone ignored. Madheshis are a Nepali people with Indian ancestry who live near the Indian border. They alleged that the Nepali hill elites were discriminating against them in the framing of the constitution, and widespread protests erupted. In these, over 40 Madheshis were killed. But India's intervention in this case had been clumsy. It came too late and it sent mixed messages. So the situation turned nasty after the constitution was framed, when the Madheshis imposed an economic blockade, halting crucial supplies to Nepal just months after the earthquake that crippled the economy. Nepal accused India of unofficially backing the move in retribution for the constitution framing, something that India still denies. Now, PM KP Oli, Nepal's pro-Beijing leader, is looking to China to fill the space vacated by India.
Nepal has formally asked China to supply petroleum products to offset the energy shortage caused by an Indian blockade.
And China is only too happy to oblige. Here's how. Nepal's previous India-friendly government had scrapped the $2.5 billion contract with a Chinese company for the 1,200-megawatt Budhi Gandaki hydropower project. It had cited financial concerns, saying it had been signed recklessly and shadily by its predecessor. This was reportedly done to ease New Delhi's concerns. But in his very first interview since coming to power, Oli promised to revive this very project. Now, while an Indian company still holds the contract for Nepal's largest capacity project, Budhi Gandaki's revival means that after the blockade, Nepal, at least under Oli, is less willing to put all its eggs in the India basket. In 2015, when Nepal was reeling in the aftermath of the earthquake and the blockade, China took the opportunity to make its move. Though India had sent massive amounts of aid immediately after the quake, China made up the rear with enormous investments in infrastructure. As of 2016, India had slipped off the list of Nepal's top 5 donor countries, and China overtook. In May 2017, Nepal signed an MOU on the framework agreement for the One Belt, One Road initiative, a Chinese effort to create trade and security linkages across the region. India refuses to join, saying that OBOR impinges on its sovereignty by passing through territory India considers its own. Now, Nepal had held out of OBOR all this while, until it decided that the time was right, just days after its very first joint military exercises with China. Nepal has historically aligned with India, not China. But India is proving woefully underprepared for the Chinese diplomatic push, both in Nepal and in the rest of its neighborhood.